morning and welcome to this week's edition of Tourismus Namibia. My name is Frank Steffen. I'm the editor of Allgemeine Zeitung, but then obviously also responsible for Tourismus Namibia. So welcome, I would say, once again. It's the normal show. It's first we look at a few topics and then hopefully at a number of destinations which you also find interesting, and we might just be able to convince you to go to them. And then obviously at the end of the show, we've got To the Point, a very interesting contribution about the Cheetah Conservation Fund this week. So before we go any further, let's quickly have a look at the marketplace and then we'll have a look at topics. Yeah, welcome back, and it was quite befitting. If you look at the topics introduction, you would look at the picture of an elephant, and in the background we've got elephants today, and the thing is, it's quite a relevant thing. It's not necessarily something that's only become a news item now, but this week one of the reports that we've brought in the Allgemeine Zeitung was about the elephants in Namibia, and all of you will remember that recently 57 elephants were finally auctioned off after a long hee-haw and whatever, and they were sold to 3 successful bidders out of a total of 5. So according to the government reports, 15 elephants remain in Namibia and 42 go abroad, and there was quite a lot of skepticism by many observers, and it still remains high if you look at the internet traffic, because the state basically received 5.9 million for these elephants, and it resulted in an average price of 103,000 roughly. That's Namibia dollar, 103,000 Namibia dollar. Now, what we did is we did a calculation when we wrote our report, and ivory is currently selling for around $92 per kilo on the black market. So a tusk weighs between 10 and 60 kilograms, so you can assume an average of around 35 kilos, and this means that a dead elephant, not counting the price of meat, would bring in $6,440. So some sources estimate that it could go as high as 10,000 US. That is between 110,000 and 170,000 Namibia dollars. So according to the German magazine Spiegel, a kilo of elephant meat costs around $13 in Africa, but up to 20 times more in Europe or the USA, so around about $260. A bull elephant weighs around 5,500 kilos, a cow elephant around 2.5 kilos. So that's an average of 4,000 kilograms, that is. And so it is known that the usable meat content of beef is around 43%. So if you now calculate conservatively and assume less usability, you can assume a percentage of 35% for elephants, probably more. And that makes a price of $18,200 in Africa, so roughly 310,000 Namibia dollars, and up to $364, almost 6.2 million in Europe or the USA. Possibly a little less, as there are more dams, more female elephants than bulls. But with a purchase price of 103,000 Namibia dollar at the auction in Namibia, a buyer who gets involved in illegal black market deals makes an enormous profit, even if the initial holding costs are factored in. The argument being quite simply that we at Allgemeine argue that even if you send the elephant to somebody in for argument's sake, whether it's Asia or Americas or wherever it goes, and if you hold it there under the premise that it will be kept in a zoo, and ultimately it does end up being slaughtered and sold out, and the ivory being sold on the black market, then this whole concept of ours doesn't carry water. So I do realize that Namibia is trying to talk to CITES and make sure that somehow we get a better use of the ivory, possibly even opening a limited ivory market. But for us as a paper or as journalists, we think it's very important that these sort of transactions are done in a transparent manner. So if we say that more than 40 animals go to wherever they go, then we need to know who these buyers are, almost like diamond tracing. You need to know where these animals go, what happens to them. Are we still able to say after 10 years, no, we didn't sell them to be slaughtered off or whatever, or into a funny situation that we don't agree with? Because at the end of the day, Namibia does believe in conservation, and that's what stands in our constitution. So we've got to follow it. It's not a matter of wanting to follow it. We have to. It's law. So anyway, that's enough about the elephants for this segment. Recon Africa is up next, and it was quite interesting. What you see here is the Kavango map, obviously. And so what a geologist who regularly is quoted on this show, as well as in our reports in the papers, Matt Totten Jr., has overlaid the map of the Kavango regions with an exploration and fracking map of the Eagle Ford Shale frack basin. That is the one in Texas. And so the interesting part is Recon Africa has consistently praised the gas and oil deposits in the Kavango as being better and larger than the Texas deposits. But this is where it becomes clear what impact this would have on the environment if only 10% is true. So if you look at the next map, I've just made a little assumption and say, let's just say that is about 10% of what we see there. And by the way, these are fracking stations in Texas. And once again, if Recon Africa goes and compares the Kavango consistently with the Texas basin, then we obviously also have to assume that the only way that you can get out that oil is by the way of fracking. So if only 10% of that applies to this sort of thing, then we can now immediately write off Kavango as a future tourism destination, never mind going over into Caprivi where the same applies. So I thought this was a very apt and it was a good comparison. It's something that sort of creates that awareness of we're not only talking of small fry here. Right, and then up next, we always speak about rhino conservation in Namibia, and we're very active in that regard. Now, in Congo, it is now apparent that ivory to the value of 3.5 million US dollars has been seized, and that was done by the Democratic Republic of Congo, in other words, DRC, and they did this jointly with United States official. The U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa said on past Monday. And this was basically ivory, it was rhinoceros horn, and even pangolin scales. I'm just glad to see that in Central Africa, we too suddenly see that these efforts are getting into gear. Namibia has largely been able to get control over their rhinos. But in Africa, it was still a huge problem, and South Africa, bit by bit, is approaching a situation where they've got better control over it as well. We often reported about all these various new innovations in order to keep control over these rhinos. So let's hope and pray that the rest of Africa is also supporting this whole effort, because at the end of the day, that's the only way how we'll get this properly under control. So those are our topics for today, and up next we've got destinations. Right, welcome back. As you can see, we're trying to just shorten the show a bit, actually to keep you interested on the one side, and then also in future we've got a couple of other segments that we are planning to get into gear. One of them is about 4x4s. So let's see how it goes, and bit by bit we'll hopefully spruce up the show to your liking at the end of the day. So up next, we've got something that is different. Kenya Kambove has contributed something about Balfort Guest House in Rundu. Now, the Balfort Guest House, you can see there on the map, those of you who know Rundu, further to the right is the main road coming in through the center of town, and then that yellow line sort of running parallel to the horizontal, the horizontal line, let's put it straight. So is the one that just takes a bit down the road, so you turn left towards Balfort Guest House, and the other line that you see going up to the river is actually, what you see at the river is called Rundu Beach. Now, Rundu Beach can obviously not be compared to a normal beach, but it is still a place where people hang out. They go there for a braai on a weekend, or just quickly to watch the Okavango River running past, and see what people do. Well, it's an interesting place. It's where people come together. And Balfort Guest House is literally just down that or up the road, because it actually goes up quite steeply from the river up to Rundu proper. And this is the outside, as you can obviously see. This is what typically is a functional and nice and well-kept abode, and it's not your luxury type lodge. It's affordable to everybody, and as you can still see, it's very beautiful and still does 100% of the jobs. Like they said, they serve breakfast, and they have fast Wi-Fi, DSTV, air conditioner, and friendly staff. So what more would you want? You know, Christophine Kandovadu, an employee at Balfort Guest House in Rundu, shares with Tourismus why visitors to the riverside town have to visit their accommodation establishment. She also talks about the impact of COVID-19 on their business. So yeah, this is, here you can see, you can even have a strategic session. So it's really a nice place, and it's really in center of town. You might, as a tourist, maybe opt for something further out where you've got peace and quiet. But I'll tell you what, if you're up there for business or just to stop over for the night, then this is actually a very, very nice place to go to. So,
hi, welcome to Beaufort Guest House. My name is Christophine Kandovadu, the receptionist. We offer accommodation, conference hall, restaurants, and we have got airport transfer and boat cruise. Those are the only activities or things that we offer at Beaufort Guest House. And when COVID started, we were really affected for the first 2 months, where we did not get our salary, a full salary. And then we started picking up. Our business is local. We don't have international. So we only deal with NAMWATA, MVA, Roads Authority, and then the doctors and JPECOs. So we are really local. So we are not affected because of our service. We are trying our level best to make sure that every customer that comes has to go and give comments and talk about more about Beaufort, and then they refer others to us. So we are always busy. We are really busy. We really thank God for that. And coming to service, we need to do some training. We need to train our staff. We need to give them in-service training, tell them how to serve customers, how to clean rooms, and then if we can't do it on our own, there are training centers where we can take them and to improve their service. But we are really doing good.
Now tell me, in terms of you talked about your services, But how different are they from what other establishments are offering?
The service, we are all doing the same thing. But the only thing that you need to do, the reception, is the first impression that lasts forever. So your receptionist must be more friendly, not stressed, no matter how stressed you are, but your customers, you need to make them happy. And you need to take them to the room, market the rooms, and tell them what service do you offer. In the rooms, we have got free Wi-Fi, complimentary tea and coffee that is in the room, and the room is self-contained. You make sure that the linen are clean, they are white, and they are clean.
Okay, but you say that most of your clients are local and not from international. Why is that so? Or maybe have you done the research to find out maybe why international tourists might not come? And there are some that are currently watching the show at the moment, or might be watching, or will watch it. What is your message to them, the international tourists? Or you don't? Are you fine with the current status quo? You also want foreigners to come here?
We used to have foreigners from South Africa, Botswana, Angola, but due to COVID, because of the borders, so we don't get them more often. We are only having a few of them. So far, the only people that we are getting international is Okacom, that is from Botswana.
Okay. And your prices?
Prices for our rooms, we've got luxury and executive suite. Luxury rooms are 750 single, and double it's 800, and executive it's 950, and double it's 1,200. The single I'm referring to, it's one person in the room, and double it's when you are two. And all our rooms have got double beds, because people, they don't like sleeping on those small beds. And then we have got twin rooms. The twin room is where maybe two ladies, they want to share the room, where there are two beds in that room, and it's 800 per night.
Okay. You mentioned something about COVID earlier. COVID has negatively impacted the tourism industry, which you are also falling into in the hospitality industry. There are some other players who have suffered huge losses because of clients not coming in, all that. But as you mentioned, you are doing very well. Tell us in terms of what is maybe your message to other establishments that are finding it hard during this time. Maybe just a message of encouragement for them to pull through.
Coming to that, I have to tell my fellow employees, we should not look at the business as the owner. If he's not doing anything, we are not doing anything. Employees, we need to keep our job by trying to go an extra mile, every time go an extra mile, to make sure that all your customers are happy. Do not say, I'm a receptionist and my work is just here. Go and check the rooms, go and help the rooms, go and serve the clients. By doing so, you are improving and you are working to keep your customers, you are trying to keep your customers. Message to my employees, do take a business as if it's your own. Do not work for the sake of salary, but take the business as your own and help the employers so that he can pay your salary at the end of the month.
Okay. No, thank you very much for your time, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So there you have it, Beaufort Guest House. I must be honest, I always thought that I know Rundu, and well, certainly I didn't know that there was a Beaufort Guest House. I'm actually very thankful that Kenya picked up on it, because it seems a very nice option. I've so often found myself just wanting to stay there for a night or two, and not being in a position where I want to trade in my vehicle just to have a good night's sleep. So I think this is a very, very nice option to make use of. So well done there for Kenya. Up next, we've got Norochama River Resort, and this was brought to us by Elizabeth again. It's Elizabeth Joseph, who's down in the south. Here you can see, this is actually, when you look at it, just go back to the map there for a moment, Matthias. If you look at this here, you look at the line, you think, but how's this now? Why the Orange River surely doesn't flow from the south to the north? Yes, it does. It's on that side, it's quite a number of kilometers to the left, in other words, west of of Noordoever. I think it's roughly 60 or 70 k's. And it is where the Orange River turns towards the north and has a curve going back towards the west. As you can see, it's already starting to curve there. And those green spots obviously are all the vineyards at Ossenkeer, which is obviously well known for all its vineyards. And Norachama has always been there. It was one of the first farms up there, and it was certainly the first place that I remember that started, going into tourism service and so on. And what I seem to remember is the first time I drove down towards the house, I remember having all these little signs that said, please be quiet, young grapes growing or sleeping or whatever it was. So all these little reminders that you are out in nature and this is not the time to make a nuisance or noise. And so this is obviously on the banks of the Orange River, and it's just perfectly set. I mean, you can see it yourself. Very homely in many respects. So this very nice, they say on their internet site, on the breathtaking banks of the Orange River lies the Norachama River Resort with beautiful views and extravagant rooms. The resort grows from strength to strength. It has 36 fully furnished rooms and has exciting activities for guests to enjoy. So anyway, let's have a look at the video.
Ek is die receptionist, maar ek is nou as 'n supervisor hier in die kantoor. So welkom.
Ja, ek is Nelly. Ek is die supervisor by die housekeeping afdeling vir die kamers en so.
Norachama bestaan uit 36 kamers en dit het baie klein begin. Dit het met 4 kamers begin, so met die jare het ons nou opgegaan tot op 36.
Ja.
Ja, nee, ons het begin in 2000. Ons die plek begin met 4 kamers, soos Mandy daar sê. En van die 4 kamers af was maar baie bosserig en al sulke dinge, ja, maar ons het deurgedruk en ons het gekom, soos Mandy daar nou gesê, tot op 36 kamers. Ja, dit was nie maklik nie, maar dit was moontlik met die hulp van die Here, ja.
Ons het billike rides en ons het STO en rek rides. Ons dubbelkamers is 2100 op 'n rek ride en die STO is al 1680. Al ons kamers sluit breakfast in, maar ons het verskillende kamers. Ons het standaarde kamers en ons het luxury kamers.
Well, that's Norachama Lodge for you, or River Resort, actually, Norachama River Resort. And when I look at these sort of contributions, I always have to smile. it really seems to me that Namibians by far are very easy to talk to a camera, which is not that, yeah, not many people can naturally do that. And so it's always nice to see that people can communicate these facts to you instead of us always reading to you and telling us about these places. It's nice for them to tell you, even though they've never been trained to do that. So, and that to me is, it can only work if it comes from the heart and when they really believe in what they're telling you. So believe it, because I think it comes from the heart. So that's Nora Chama. By the way, if you ever want to look at this show again, or any other show that we have, NMH at this stage has got shows running for the whole day. Do yourself the favor, go onto the internet and look up 1 up 2. 1 up 2. 1, just the digit, and then UP, and the 2 digit again. 1 up 2. So our channel, where on the internet we store all of our shows. So whether you are a fan of Klets Kompas, which is our Afrikaans program of the Republikein, or you take Evening Review, which is mostly handled by Namibian Sun, and marketing shows, whatever you can think of there, the teaching shows where the children are taught in the time of COVID so that they can learn what they need to learn. Just go and have a look and just see. I'm quite sure that some of these shows might be of interest to you when you've got a few minutes and you want to have a look at something else than just the old magazine that dates back to 2017 on the coffee table. Anyway, so that's just my 5 cents on that. Up next, we've got To The Point.
If you're feeling how I'm feeling and you know I won't stop, all we gotta do is take our love to the top. If I got it and you want it and you'll never let it drop, all we gotta do is take our love to the top. I will ride for you, baby, even die for you. When I'm loving you, but my heart don't stop.
Right, under To The Point today, we bring you a contribution by Enzo Amwele. He's our journalist up in Otjiwarongo, and he would like to speak about the Cheetah Conservancy Fund or Foundation. It's up in the north, so I was hoping that I could still get this into context, but it's not as easy to see. You see Otjiwarongo on the left-hand side, and right towards on the far right, you've got Cheetah Foundation. Now, when you drive out of Otjiwarongo, you invariably have that feeling, it's sort of a gut feel that you're driving towards the northeast. You're actually not driving towards the northeast, you're actually going straight east. And the Cheetah Conservancy Fund is just above the Waterberg. So the Waterberg would be from there on just further to the let's say southeast, just a bit way down. So the main line that you see on the left there is the one that goes up to Otavi. Anyway, the Cheetah Conservation Fund, always worth visiting. We've spoken about it before, but I still think just the job that they are doing is worth your while, why you should go there. A lot to learn, and obviously to enjoy the vehicles, I almost said, the animals. But anyway, here's the video by Enzo.
Hi Namibia, my name is Aniki Siaya and I'm the Research and Education Manager here at the Cheetah Conservation Fund. So Cheetah Conservation Fund was founded in 1990 with the aim of ensuring the survival of the cheetah in the wild for future generations. Cheetahs are very important to us Namibians and should be important to every Namibian because, I mean, they are the fastest land animal in the world, and at the moment we have Christine Boma, who's the fastest girl in the world. And today, as Namibians, we can proudly say that Namibia is the country with the fastest land animal and the fastest girl in the world. So that is very special to us. And so, but the importance of conserving the cheetah is not only for tourism, as people might think. cheetahs play a very important role in the ecosystem. They help to maintain healthy prey populations in the environment. So their benefit to the environment, in a way, also then benefits us, because if you have healthy, naturally functioning ecosystems, then you also have a healthy human population. So that is what we try and do here at Cheetah Conservation through our various programs, and these are our education programs, our conservation programs, and our research programs. And because I mostly work in the education department, our education focuses not only on farmers. You know, farmers are the ones that have a lot of conflict with predators such as cheetahs and others. So we work a lot with farmers. We also work with young people. We work with students. We work with learners. We visit schools. We work with teachers. And working with young people for me is a very important part of what we do, because the young people are the future of conservation tomorrow. And so we need to equip them and instill, knowledge in them that is going to allow for them to be conservation minded and to continue conservation in the future. So we instill knowledge that will allow them to appreciate the cheetah and to carry the work forward after we are no longer there. And so that is what we do on the education side. But on the research side, we try to understand the cheetah's biology, morphology, but we also do a lot of research around the conflicts that farmers have with cheetahs. And CCF has done a lot of research over the years, since 1990. And one of the successful programs that we have here is the livestock guarding dog program, which has allowed for farmers to coexist harmoniously with cheetahs. And we have seen through our research that for farmers that have a livestock guarding dog, which we place on farms to help farmers mitigate the human wildlife conflict with cheetahs, or human cheetah conflicts, if you may, to mitigate those issues. Farmers that have these dogs have recorded an 80% reduction in livestock losses. And this program is really what we try to not only preach, but we try to let farmers know that coexistence with predators is possible if you put the right mitigation and strategies in place. And so that is what we do at Cheetah Conservation Fund. Because like I said, the aim of Cheetah Conservation Fund is to keep cheetahs in the wild, okay? To have healthy cheetah numbers in the wild. Okay, and so if we are going to have to see that, then we need for our farmers to know that coexistence is possible with the cheetah. So that is what we do with farmers.
Hi, my name's Callum. I'm in charge of the livestock guarding dogs here at the Cheetah Conservation Fund. I'm here with Bolt, one of our Anatolian shepherds. These guys we place on farms around Namibia to mitigate human-wildlife conflict. These guys will be protecting your livestock from predators. They'll be making sure they put themselves between the predator and the prey so that they take away the easy meal.
On top of that, we also have an integrated livestock management approach that we teach farmers. Conservation is a whole holistic approach, and we try to incorporate things such as teaching them about livestock health management. We try to teach them about rangeland management, because all these things are interlinked, they are connected in our quest, not only as Cheetah Conservation Fund, but in everybody's quest to ensure that our predators such as cheetahs exist in the wild. And so what we do with school children is we visit school children, we talk about the cheetah's role in the ecosystem. We try to give them facts, true facts about cheetahs, and we try to get them interested in conservation. We are recently finalizing our program, which is called the Future Conservationist of Africa program, that aims to train and mentor young people in conservation. And this is because of the need for instilling conservation in young people. Because if you ask a young person in Namibia today, what do you want to become? Being a conservationist is not an answer that you're going to get. And so we want young people to be exposed to conservation, to learn as much as they can about conservation, and also to show them what possible careers are there in conservation, because there are lots and lots of conservation careers out there. Even here at Cheetah Conservation Fund, I mean, you can be a veterinarian and be a conservationist. You can be a geneticist and be you can be whatever you want to become. I mean, I'm an educator and I'm working in conservation. So it's really just using your passion and your skills to contribute to conservation. And if you visit us here at Cheetah Conservation, you can really see how, you know, any and every career path can contribute to conservation. We also do, you know, tourism. We are a non-profit organization, but we do tourism on the side to sort of, you know, help us with, you know, running the operation here at Cheetah Conservation Fund. We offer some activities for tourists. You can come and see how we feed our cheetahs, how we exercise our cheetahs. We have a Cheetah View Lodge. You can come here and enjoy some time with your family, away from the city, away from the town. We have game drives that we can offer to visitors also that would like to come and visit us. So,
the Cheetah Conservation Fund is also an open to the public day center. So we've got our education center. You can come and do a walk around and see the cheetahs. You can go on a safari and see our orphan cheetahs out in very large enclosures naturalistically. And so we welcome people from throughout the country to come and visit, spend a day with us, come to Otjiwarongo. We also have overnight accommodations in what we call our Babson Guest House, which is an exclusive high-end guest house. And we have our Cheetah View Lodge, and that's a 5-bedroom lodge with a restaurant, and we welcome visitors, overnight guests, to come and learn more about the work that we do. And activities that go on here during the day, I'll let you talk a little bit about those activities.
yes, so for activities, our visitors can come and see how we feed our cheetahs. We have game drives in our little reserve that's called the Little Serengeti, but also drives around the center. You can, you know, participate in a tour around our facilities to show you a bit and talk about what we do here, you know, the hands-on work that we do here at the Cheetah Conservation Fund. We host not only visitors, we also host school groups. We have our Camp Lightfoot for any school groups, local or international, that would like to bring students here to learn more about conservation. We are absolutely open to that as well.
And some of the other activities that are about, we have our Cheetah Cafe and also our creamery. And so a lot of everything that we serve in our cafe has been homemade by our wonderfully dedicated chefs here. And much of the food that we serve in our cafe has also been grown here. We have a sustainable garden, as well as then our goat dairy. And our goat dairy and our creamery, which is called the Dancing Goat Creamery, we do make our own cheeses, and we make fetas and hard cheeses and chèvre, I guess. So wonderful, wonderful cheese platters that are available here. And our cheeses are also available in some of the grocery stores throughout the country. And again, this is one of the livelihood development programs that we're trying to show people that you can have alternative products. And I think we're one of the few dairies actually in the country. Mm-hmm. And dairy production is something that people don't think about. We think about our meat animals, and yet I really like my goats a lot, and so, of course, they all have names. As we milk them, we get about 200 liters a day from our goats, and we make not only our cheeses, we make the best ice cream in the world, and soaps, and so a variety of other products that are now also available. So we welcome guests to come and visit us here at CCF. We're open from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Call if you want to come and watch one of our, we have a cheetah runs that are in the morning where our orphan cheetahs are exercised and you get to take pictures of cheetahs running full speed. We also have other specialized tours as well. And we have our cheetah feeding that goes on here in the center at 2 o'clock weekdays and 12 o'clock on weekends. So we do welcome everybody to come and visit. And coming up is our International Cheetah Day.
Mm-hmm. So International Cheetah Day is a day where we celebrate the cheetah. And because Namibia, and specifically Otjiwarongo, is the cheetah capital of the world, we invite everybody on the 4th of December to come and celebrate International Cheetah Day with us. And International Cheetah Day this year is on a Saturday, so you can, you know, plan to spend your weekend here at the Cheetah Conservation Fund, we have special rates for those that would be interested in spending a night at our accommodations here at CCF. But also we will have a full day packed event. We will have booths all around our centers with our various departments sharing not only through information but activities and things that you can do about what we do here at the Cheetah Conservation Fund. And these will be activities that the entire family can participate in. From young to old, everybody will have an opportunity to have fun while learning about the cheetah. And really, you know, we just need to appreciate the cheetah. You know, today we can proudly say that Namibia is the country with the fastest land animal and, you know, the fastest girl, which is Christine Boma. So come and see how and learn about how the cheetah is able to, you know, to be the fastest land animal in the world and why we should, you know, celebrate the cheetah and appreciate the cheetah and, yeah, carry conservation of this magnificent species forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you.
Right, and that was the Cheetah Conservation Fund. You now know more, and if you want to know more, just look them up on the internet. That's the nice thing about the internet these days, that you can look up these thingies, find out more, see how you can best organize your stay, possibly there or at the vicinity of the CCF, as it's known in Namibia. That brings us to the end of this show. I hope we were able to make you enjoy the show. And if you ever want to contribute towards it, please write to us. I will make a point at the next show of actually showing my email address so that you can mail your contributions if you've got something of interest, because at the end of the day, we would like this to be your show, the show where you inform yourself. In the meantime, you can obviously, again, on the internet, look up Tourismus Namibia, Tourismus, the German word, Tourismus Namibia, and you will find our web page, which gives you lots of information and service information and so on. So if you plan to have a trip to Namibia, that's the page to go to. Until then, this is the end of the show, and I hope you enjoyed it. As said, I remain for another 7 days, and then hopefully we'll see you again. Until then, remain healthy.